Hi everyone, it's Catherine here at Cat V Stitches. Welcome to my Flosstube channel, a channel all about Flosstube. Although sometimes animals do get mentioned and occasionally there is a little bit of knitting. Today it's going to be all about cross stitch and potentially being visited by some of my animals. Yeah, this is Sasha for any newbies. She's one of my 5 cats. Yes, I do have 5 cats. And I'm in a new location today. I'm actually in my office. It's Sunday the 13th and I've basically spent all morning doing a mass tidy up, although it doesn't necessarily look incredibly tidy in the background, but trust me, it's a lot tidier and more organised than it was. Oh dear. Yeah, it's funny, whenever I'm up here sat at my desk and this one hears me speaking, she has to come running over to see what's going on. She's got to be the centre of attention. But anyway, yes, it's Sunday the 13th. It's Remembrance Sunday. I have completely forgotten to put my poppy on. Actually, just let me put that on now. This is a very lovely pin. They've got all high tech this year and you can donate. Well, you can donate using your card. There we go. It's also got a little bee on it for Manchester, because in Manchester here in the UK we have the bee as our little emblem. There you go. There you go. That's beautiful. Sorry. Anyway, got distracted then. Yeah. So, yeah. Told you my name. Told you the date. Welcomed everybody here. It's chaos as usual, but I thought I would just quickly jump on to basically run through what I stitched in October. It was a busy month in life and work and things like that, so I didn't do as much stitching as I would like to have done, but I still did a fair bit, and I got one significant finish that I'm incredibly proud of. I absolutely love, so I'll show you that in a minute. But other than that, I've just been trucking along, and I'll give you a little life update, or should I say Poochie update. For anybody new, that's my dog Poochie, who is at the moment downstairs enjoying a very large treat just to keep her quiet. Most of the things that have happened in the past couple of weeks, to be honest, have centred around her, because she's been her normal whirlwind of destruction in a lovable way, but you know, still a whirlwind of destruction. As any 8-month-old puppy would be. So yeah, just been trucking along. I cannot believe we're nearly halfway through November already. This year has just absolutely flown by, and it has just blown my mind how quickly it's gone. Yeah, and it's already the countdown for Christmas, which is this cat keeps knocking the little mic here. It's already the countdown to Christmas, which again, just I can't believe. So just bear me 1 second. Got a bit of vocal fry going on because I've not actually spoken much today. Right, let's get down to the stitching. I don't think it's going to be a long one today, because as I said, I didn't stitch as much or stitch on as many projects as I thought I would. I had this master plan that I was going to do quite a few things, start quite a few new projects. But what ended up happening is I got derailed, and again I'll come to that in a second, but I'll just start going through things first of all. Right, so first thing I touched on was my cricket collection. This is Sleepy Hollow. Sorry for any glare. So I have been working on this middle panel here. I'm going to do it as a trifold like this. Yeah, so that is what I've been working on. Doing this on a 28 count Zweigart fabric that I dyed myself. Nope, that's not it. Find it, here it is. And I finished that middle panel. There we go. So yeah, it's all done. Wording, oh sorry, no, it's almost all done. I've just got the back stitch to do. I couldn't quite decide whether or not to do the back stitch on here now or wait until I've done all 3 panels and then do the back stitch. But no, as normal, Cricut Collection patterns I absolutely love, and I just think this looks great. And although it may not be the best dye job, I actually think it turned out quite well, and it shows up the colours pretty nicely. So yeah, so that's kind of like a partial finish, and I will get started on, I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next. I might do the church next door. Yeah, I don't know, I've not decided yet. I might just toss a coin or something, but this might go away for a few months now. My aim was to finish this middle panel, and I did that, so I was happy with that. And then I also had a new start, Cricut Collection, obviously. Oh my god, I've got all the floss in there. And it is November. Now, there's not a chance in hell of this being finished for this year. This will be for next November, but I've already done, is it up there? Yes, September. I don't know if, no, I don't think you can see that actually. No, it's too high up. I've already done September, and November is the next longest, as in the amount of letters that are on there. So I thought, you know what, I'll just get this one out of the way, and then I'll do December and so forth. But yeah, so I started on this one, and for any newbies, I'm basically working my way through the months. I've already done the seasons, and I think you can see, is it? Yeah, you can see spring there, and August is one of the months I've done. So I'm just going to work my way through. So I've done all the seasons, and I'm working my way through the months now. And I'm doing this on a 28 count. This is just a Zweigart, one of the coloured Zweigarts. And I have, so that's the full, that's N, O, V and E there. So that's all of those letters done. So the rest will be filling for the pictures. So I think there's a house that goes here. Yeah, so I got a good start on that. There we go. Oh, hello. Yeah, I got a good start on it, so this might come out again in the next week or so. So that is one of my new starts. I did 2 new starts. Oh crap, sorry, I just need to put these flosses away before I lose them. I've not fully organised the multitude of flosses that's needed, so as is always the way with these Cricut Collection patterns, there is an absolute ton of colours needed, and for some of them you need them for 1 or 2 ninja stitches, but hey, when the end result is as good as it is, you know, you just do it, don't you? So that is November. Let's pop this away in there. Sorry about the crinkling. Okay, so the next thing, and this is where I got derailed in October. The other picture that I'd wanted, the other pattern that I'd wanted to focus on, I didn't plan on finishing it because I didn't think I would, but I planned on focusing on was another Cricut Collection one, and this was the Skeleton Crewe one. Skeleton Crewe. Adding an extra G in there for some reason. It's actually one of my oldest non-Haid whips, so non-Heaven and Earth design whips, along with Sleepy Hollow as well, actually. So I wanted to, as with Sleepy Hollow, I wanted to get some good progress done this month. But then I started stitching it and really started enjoying myself. And then I kind of got that finishing bug of, you know what, I think I could finish this month if I really, you know, put myself to it. And you know what, I did. Not only did I finish it, I laced it up, and it was a bitch to do, but I framed it. And here it is. There you go. So that's on 28 count, and this is how you know it's one of my first ones, in the fact that I did it on 28 count, because now I would not do it on 28 count. Just like I'm stuck doing 28 count for all the months. I would have done them on 32 or 36 count if I'd have started the series from now. But yeah, there it is. Those sails, or ghosts, however you want to describe them, were an absolute bitch to do. There are tons of stitches in each one, and that moon up there, I had to redo half of it because I realised that I'd picked the wrong shade for one half. So I'd started it off in the wrong shade, and then so I'd started it off, did about half of it, then came back later, picked up what was actually the right colour, and they were very similar. And in the light I was stitching in, because it was dark and I had my glaring light on, you couldn't really see the difference until you looked at it in sunlight. So I carried on stitching on the boats down there, thinking, well, can I live with it? Because it was the slightest difference between the two of it, the two shades. But then every time I looked at it, it was like, nope, I can see it, and if I can see it, other people will see it. So I had to rip out half of it and redo it. But ultimately, I'm glad I did, and I absolutely love this. So it's in just a plain black frame because I thought that's all it needed. This is 28 count Picture This Plus Valor, and I am just so happy with this. It's 2 weeks of just stitching on this, not every day, and sometimes maybe only half an hour or an hour, but 2 weeks, two full weekends of just on this, and I'm so happy with it. This is hung up in my lounge, and yeah, just love it. So that is Skeleton Crewe by Cricket Collection. I don't know if you can guess, but yeah, I really love it. So yeah, so that derailed all of my October plans, but I did still manage to get some other stitching done as well. So I had, let's see, where is it? Don't tell me I've forgotten to bring it up. I've forgotten to bring it up. Right, I'm just going to pause this recording and I'm going to go and grab it. I won't be a minute. Okay, hi, sorry, I'm back. Right, so my other new start was a Prairie Moon pattern. And, ooh, sorry, just dropped my iPad there. Let me get it up. So it's this one, The House That Jack's Built 2. So there you go. So that was my new start, and I'm doing this on 32 count, and this is from Chromatic Alchemy, from their Fabric of the Month, Saturine I think it's called. Beautiful, beautiful fabric. But I have basically done that whole house in the centre. Now, this is where I'm a bit stuck. My plan had been to do the house in black, and then everything else around it I'm going to do in red. So in this red that I'm stitching in there. But now I'm not so sure. I don't know if I just can't see it properly because there's an inconvenient crease going all the way through. There we go. I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know if it's too startling, or do I just do it all in black? Because I think that black really pops on this. So I don't know what I'm going to do, because it could potentially do for Black Sampler November, just do it all in black. So just unpick this red and do it all in that black. As I'm talking to you now, I'm kind of convincing myself to do it, because I think it would look pretty spectacular. I mean, this is actually in 3 different colours that they've done it there. But I'm looking at this now, and I think that black just looks amazing on this fabric. anyone's got an opinion on that, let me know. But I'm using, I've been using Belsoir Old Crewe on it, and the red was Belsoir Tulip. So yeah, I think I may just go for, just do it all in black on that. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to think about that. But anyway, that was my other new start for the month. Come past that. I then stitched on, just for a day, it's the Drawn Thread Sunnyside Sampler. So this absolutely glorious pattern. I know somebody's doing a stitch along on this at the moment, but I started mine a while ago, so yeah. So I think I just maybe stitched on a day or so on this, and I worked on this house here. So I've done this now. And again, for anyone who's been watching my videos for a bit now, you'll know that that lettering at the bottom I have done in the wrong colour green. It's actually a darker green it's supposed to be, but you know what, I'm really liking that lighter colour now, so I am not going to unpick it. I am just going to carry on using that green. But yeah, so I did that house there. In fact, I think I might have done a couple of days on this, but I got that house done. What I'm trying to do is every time I pick it up is to do a house. So next I'll finish this one and do the next house along, which is, I'm not quite at the last houses yet. I'm on this house on this side, so I want to finish that and move on to here. And I have just done this house here, so I've got literally this end one here, which is actually quite a big one, and then I'll do all the fancy stitching and all the rest of the words. Oh yeah, this is coming along lovely, this, and this one I'll frame and put up. Well, this is done on 32 count. They called for, I'm going to slap myself in the face there. It's 32 count natural. I think it's a Zweigard. Is it a Zweigard? No, this isn't. I can't remember, sorry, but I know it's a 32 count natural anyway. And yeah, I think I have said this before, but the recommended thing for this is 1/2. I just don't like the coverage of 1/2 on 32 count, so I do it 2/2. There you go. I think that's coming along very nicely. This one is potentially a finish in the next couple of months, because I would like to get this framed and up on the wall, to be honest. If I hadn't have gone hell for leather on Skeleton Crew, I might have finished this one, to be honest. Okay, so next thing I started stitching on was the Supernatural stitch along. Let's see if I can show you what that's supposed to look like. So this is being dropped on a weekly basis. This is the Witchy stitcher. This is the second of her stitch alongs in this vein. Her first one was Cryptids, which I've done and is up on my wall downstairs. And this is her companion piece, which is Supernatural. Now I have the last email from her, which actually shows all of them together at the moment. So just let me see if I can find it for you. Come on, here we go. Here we go. So this is where she's currently up to on it. So it looks great, doesn't it? I am nowhere near there. For the Cryptid one, I kept up with all of it. So each week, as soon as it dropped, I started work on it, and by the end of the next day, it would be done. But for this one, I've got the frame done, and I've got the first 4. Well, no, I've got 6 done fully. There you go. So what I am doing is the key colours, where I can, I'm switching out for a toile and I do, so this is 28 count Valor, so it'll match the cryptid one that I've done. This is actually the other half of the piece of material I got for the cryptid one, and by some miracle it just fit on, so that was handy. So all the wording, so the supernatural and all the titles, I'm doing using black etoile, 3 strands of it, just to give it really good coverage. And so, for example, if we look at the siren, this red is using the red etoile, so is the crown, the zombie, all the blood, and the bikini, all of that, and the flames here, the wings. It's using the closest colour of etoile that I can. Some of them it's a match, so for example the red here was 666 and I've got the 666 etoile. But no, I'm really liking that, so I'm going to do those 2 there, and then I've decided what I'm going to do is do the black work on the next 4 boxes first and then fill them in, and then I'll do the black work on the next 4, because that's what I did with all of these. First of all, is I did all the black work on them, and I found then that filling in the colour, it took hardly any time at all. So I'm not going to finish this, I'm not going to catch up on this, but I'm determined to finish this one, if not this year, by the end of January, to get this one finished, because I'd love to get this up. I've done it as a wall hanging, the other one, so I would love to have the 2 of them hanging up next to each other. So yeah, so that's supernatural. Here's all my toile in here. It's an absolute mess because the dog got hold of it and was running around the house with it all in the mouth, so that's another story. Sorry, let me grab a drink. I've just got one more to show. So the last one, and the one I'm currently working on, it's currently in a Q-snap, is it's a Plum Street pattern. I love, and what's that one there? I know I've already shown that one. I love my Plum Streets. This is a Plum Street. This is Buzz Off here. Just love that. And this basically is the accompanying one to that. This is Eat Crow. So I'm currently working on that pumpkin. There we go. Is this the right way? Yeah, it is. So there we go. So I've done the crow at the bottom, and I'm not quite halfway through that pumpkin, but I'm going to finish that pumpkin off and then start working on some of the flowers by the side of it. So there we go. And then what I'm going to do is do this as a flat fold and have them on either side of it, so I can switch them around whatever mood I'm in. It's the recommended fabric, which is 36 count vintage beeswax. But, and I've said this before as well, it must be something to do with how that photographed, because that is vintage beeswax. It's the right one, but it looks absolutely nothing like that. But I didn't mind because the colours just pop on it, so I'm happy with it anyway. And this again is the same with 32 count, and it's recommended 1/2. Again, I didn't like the coverage of that, so I'm doing this 2/2. And I'm using the recommended Classic Colourworks and Weeks Dye Works on it. So yeah, so that is the last thing I have worked on in the last couple of weeks. Well, I think it was 4 or 5 weeks since I last updated you on my stitching. And yeah, that finish just so happy with. It goes up on my wall. Even my brother commented on it when he came around the other day. I was like, oh, what's that? And he's been here quite a few times and seen all my stitching and never said anything. So I was like, oh, you've actually noticed one. So plans. To carry on working on this one, that's the Plum Street one, to work on Sunnyside and keep plugging away at the Supernatural one, but also potentially, sorry, itchy face, potentially I would like to start this one. So this is a Boffy Threads, and it's a peacock, and it's just those colours, they're calling me. There's the threads there. Like every time I see it, and this is actually really good light, those are true to light. Every time I see this one, I'm like, oh. So I'm going to give in and potentially start this certainly before the end of the year, but I'm going to start this soon. There's that. And other than that, it's just, I'm not really going to do any hard and fast plans, because I come up with plans and I never keep to them anyway. So I'm like, why do I do this to myself? I really am in this wee thing, you know, stitch what you want when you want. I'm stitching to, oh, I'm sorry, I've got a hair in my eye there. At the moment, I'm stitching just to de-stress, and that, oh my god, sorry, something in my eye. And now everybody will have to wait while I try and get this out of my eye. Ah, that's better, sorry. So, you know, I'm just stitching for the fun of it. Sorry, I'm showing off my bra strap there. Stitching for the sheer joy of it at the moment. And, you know, I come back from work, get everything done that needs to be done, take the dog for a walk at about 7 o'clock, sit down for a little bit there to stitch. She's actually getting really good when I do sit down to stitch. She, you know, she'll play with us, you know, she'll play, and occasionally she'll come up to me or she'll sit down next to me, and, you know, so long as every now and then I stop and give her a lot of attention, she's really good at leaving me to stitch. But I have to be so careful with my threads, because unless it's right at the end of the evening when she's falling asleep and she's not bothered, while she's still in a bit of a playful mood, if she sees any stitching near her, then that's it. Any threads near her, then she'll go for them. Or if I step up to go somewhere and I've accidentally left the threads out, yeah, that's it, she goes for it. So there's been many a time when I'm chasing her around the place to grab stuff back. So she grabbed the bag full of all my étoile stuff from that Supernatural thing, and that was a fun 15-minute chasing her around the house, because obviously it's a game for her, isn't it? So sometimes I just have to stop and maybe get a treat or something and wait for her to calm down and come to me. But anyway, yeah, sorry, I've just been distracted then, because my next door neighbour one is actually, sorry, my window here looks out at the back, and my next door neighbour one is washing his car at the moment, and just rather inconveniently he happened to look up as I glanced his way. So I don't know what he thinks I'm doing here, but never mind, he's gone now. Yeah, so but other than that, she is pretty good. So I perhaps get half an hour to an hour in there, then I feed everyone, inject my diabetic cat, and then I'll have maybe an hour or so after, if I've done all my jobs, to do a bit of stitching there. So most evenings I can get a little bit of stitching done. So it's, you know, as we all know, it's just such a good way of unwinding in the evening. So, you know, it brings me peace and it brings me joy. So plans, I'm just going to stitch what I want when I want. Purchases, I've not really purchased anything pattern wise, but I have had my fabric of the month come in. I'm in the Chromatic Alchemy Fabric of the Month Club, and that brings me to my next thing, and this is, I'm still flabbergasted by this, but I don't know if you remember, but it was maybe my last full Flosstube or the one before that, I mentioned that I'd received my fabric of the month from Chromatic Alchemy, and what had happened is I've got my front door, my main front door, then there's a tiny little vestibule, and then the inner front door. And the dog, when I'm at work, she has the hallway leading from the front door and the lounge, and then there's a child gate there, so the cats can come and go from upstairs out the back if they want to while I'm not there. And if I forget to close the inner front door, that means the dog has access to any post that comes through the letterbox. And now I'm spot on about remembering to shut that, but before I was kind of like a little bit sloppy about remembering to shut that inner door. And on this particular day that I'd forgotten to do it was the day that my fabric of the month turned up, and it was this glorious, glorious pink. I can't believe how good the lighting is for showing this true to life. That is spot on. And she got hold of it and she just tore through it. I mean, I can still do smalls on this, so although I was heartbroken, you know, I was still, well, I can still use it for things, and you know, I'll just lesson learned. So like I've learned the lesson about the thread, I learned the lesson about making sure that I shut the inner vestibule door. So fabric of the month for this month turned up, and I got the package and I was like, oh, this seems a little bit heftier. And first of all, I will show you the fabric that turned up because it's a glorious colour. So this is I get 32 count, and this is a plain one, and it's called, I think it's Sif, and it's a linen I get. Let me take it out of here. Look at this. Oh, this is just perfect lighting for this. There we go. I'm loving this. This is just... So I get a piece that is 18 by 26. I waited so long to on the waiting list to get in this fabric of the month, and I've loved everything so far that I've received. So I got that, but then contained within, and if I can just say, I know this is so crap me doing this, the day that I came home from work and got this, it hadn't been a brilliant day at work. It had not been a brilliant day at work. So I'd come home, there's lots of things going on in my industry at the moment, and it feels like we're being hit left, right and centre. So it had been very stressful, and I came home and I was at a really low ebb, and I was just feeling rubbish. And then I opened this up, and contained within it was this, with a note on saying, Catherine, this replacement is courtesy of an anonymous lady who saw that your pooch had eaten your Fabby on Flosstube. Enjoy, Sam. Some amazing lady had obviously seen my Flosstube and seen that pooch had chewed it and asked for this to be sent to me. And whoever it is, I really do hope you're watching this. I truly do, because I need you to know how much this meant to me. If somebody could have bought me a car or something like that, and it would not have meant more than this did. Literally to the point where I was telling mum, because I speak to my parents every day, and I was telling my mum, and I was in tears when I was telling her, because somebody had listened, seen it, then got hold of them at Chromatic Alchemy and asked them to do that for me. The thought and the loveliness that went into that, because this is, I don't ever expect anyone to send me that. For me, comments on this are what brings me joy, and being able to share this with people, but somebody to do that just blew me away. And that day, I had a smile on my face for hours after it, and it was happy tears with my mum, let me just put it that way, that somebody, you know, the thoughtfulness of that just blew me away. So whoever you are, please know that it was the right gift, it was the right thing at the right time. Oh, well, it would have been brilliant at any time, you know what I mean, but just at that precise moment, it just meant, yeah, but it means the world to me. So thank you very much. And I have already chosen what I'm going to stitch on it. So I am going to stitch two things on it. I'm going to stitch my two Ori TM patterns that I've got. So it's the turkey ones. I've got Frank and Alvira. They're Halloween themed, obviously. Frank and Alvira, and Sabrina and Harry. So these are what I am going to do on this. So once again, thank you so much. So yeah, just pop that in there so I don't lose it. So moving on, life, well, I've pretty much just then done a bit of a life update for you. It's just work at the moment. I'm fine in my job. It's, you know, so far it's all going okay, going well. The industry as a whole is going through an awful lot of changes, so it's just because I do a lot of compliance side of things, it's just incredibly stressful at the moment. But that's nothing new. That a lot of people out there are having to deal with a lot of stressful situation at the moment, so I just still thank my lucky stars that I have a job. I'm able to afford to pay for the house, you know, my house, and pay my bills, and I know there are a lot of people that can't do that, and my heart goes out to every single one, because, you know, there have been times when I've been in that situation and I was in the very lucky position that I was able to turn to my parents. But yeah, so, you know, I won't go into anything more on that. It's just like you just buckle in, don't you, and just get it done, do what you need to do and get on with it. But the main other things that have been happening in my life are basically, oh no, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Now there's I think I did a Flosstube extra on this. I think it was last year for Christmas. I made 2 things for my 2 nieces. It was they both have dogs, so it was a pattern. I think it was a puntini pattern, like dog lovers. Basically a house with a little dog on, and some on a step say, you know, dog lovers live here. And I did 2. I stitched it twice, which was a ball ache, and made them both into flat folds. And I documented my journey, my descent into madness as I was making those 2 flat folds, and I gifted them for Christmas. And with my sister, I was like, yeah, I'm sure it'll just be put away. And I did my sister a massive disservice. So a couple of weeks ago, I had to go around to my sister's house to get her to sign some paperwork for my parents, and I couldn't actually go in the house ultimately, because just as I turned up, I think, do you know what, I might have already said, if I've already said this story, this in my last Flosstube, my Flosstube extra, I do apologise. I can't remember, my mind is blown. But if I have already told this, I'm sorry. The long and short of it was I had to wait by the front door because my sister had COVID and I couldn't come in the house. But I had to get these papers signed and get them back to my parents. But while I was waiting by the door, I happened to glance at the display cabinet she had by the door. And right in the centre, behind glass, where it was protected, was my flat fold. And that's another thing that just really touched me. Not only had it not just been put away somewhere, it was actually in a prominent position. So yeah, did my sister a disservice there. So that'll teach me, won't it? To be judgy McJudgy. But anyway, the rest of the things that have happened are all dog related, because really that's the main event currently in my house. The biggest thing is she the other day I'll show you. So I have these type of pens. So that's a little ink well in there. So there's the ink in there. These are my favourite pens. These are my pens. Nobody touches these pens. But I had just done my niece's birthday card. Thought I'd put the pen away. Turns out I hadn't put the pen away. So I'd come upstairs to do something. I was upstairs for about 20 minutes. Came downstairs. She not only got hold of the pen, but she'd bitten through it, and all this ink had escaped onto my cream carpet. She had trodden in it and then potted all around the hallway and the lounge and the dining room where my cream carpet is. So I had blue paw prints everywhere, and in one area just outside the lounge door, a couple of pools of the ink that had literally just seeped in. oh my god. And she had ink all around her face, she had ink on her fur, so I literally did not know what to do first of all. So, I ultimately managed to get it off her, got a mouth and everything rinsed out to get rid of the ink, got the carpet cleaner out on most of the ink, but where it had pooled, I've tried everything. I've tried the shaving foam trick, I've tried the WD-40 trick, I've tried everything. The best I've been able to do, because it's a deep blue ink, the best I've been able to do is just get a faded blue ink. So I've done what any sensible person does in that position, is I've just put a rug over it. But oh, the horror. Blue footprints, paw prints I should say, sorry, just meandering around the place where she's had a nice little walk around. Yeah, it's lots of fun. But you can't stay mad at her long because she's just too cute. And I mean, the cutest thing at the moment is she's made a best friend, a dog called Mia, who is another golden retriever. She's a black flat coat, I think it's called, retriever. She's about 14-15 months and Pooch is 8 months, but they're similar size. They could be twins other than the colour, but I go to my local park at I'm there for about 7:15 in the morning, and her owner comes around that time as well, and we can just let them run. It's better than any walk we could take them on. They just run around the place, and unfortunately jump in the river a couple of times, but it's just so cute first thing in the morning. It means that, you know, she gets a really good walk before I go to work, or if I'm working at home, she's nice and tired downstairs, and I generally get quite a bit of peace. But no, it's just the cutest thing ever. But anyway, you know what, I think I'm going to leave it there. Not much else has happened. It's just really been work, and taking the dog for a walk and sorting the cats out. They're all doing well. They're all fast asleep in my bedroom at the moment. That's when it gets to winter or this time of year, that's their favourite thing to do, just to loll in my bedroom, because the sun comes in there for quite a lot of the day, and they just like to stretch out on my bed and enjoy themselves. And I had done all my jobs. I have had a very busy morning, an hour and a half in the park with the dog, then doing a bunch of washing, finishing off a big tidy I've done this today. And so I am going to take my stitching downstairs and just relax for the rest of the day. I've got nothing else I need to do other than upload this video, which won't take oh, another cat's just jumped up there, which, you know, I can stitch while I'm waiting for that to do, and I can just chill. So anyway, I hope that you are all safe and well, or as safe and well as you can be. I hope life is treating you okay, and that, you know, you're enjoying your stitching. But thank you very much for watching this, especially if you've managed to get through to the end here. As always, if you know, I always appreciate you watching. If you've not already subscribed, please do. Maybe give me a thumbs up. And, you know, any comments are always welcome. I love your comments. All of them are always read. I may not be able to respond as quickly as I used to, but please know that they're all read and all hugely appreciated. Always cheers me up when I see comments down there, because they're always so lovely. But I'll let you all go. Whenever you're watching this, have a nice evening, day, whatever. And hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will do another of these videos, and who knows, there may be another finish, or maybe I've just done nothing but new starts. Who can say? No, I will see you all soon. Lots of love.